I'm going to talk about Shifra. Shifra is a tool that we built on top of the TrueBlocks core, and it gives you access to the Ethereum data in a way that's maybe a little surprising. So the first thing I'm going to show you is that we have a names component that lets us name addresses and keep a store of named addresses. So that's all the Gitcoin grant addresses. We got that from the Gitcoin grant API. And there's 1,182 addresses. I am going to remove the header, and then I'm going to cut the second field, which will give me just addresses, and I'm going to store those in a file. Next, I'm going to do Shifra list, and I'm going to take those addresses from that file, and that is listing every appearance of every one of the Gitcoin grant addresses anywhere across the chain. Some of them are old, so they're back to block 6 million. Some of them are brand new, and we don't really care. We're just listing everything we find. Next, I'm going to do Shifra names Gitcoin core, and these are the core address. This is the Gitcoin grant address here for the current smart contract, and I'm going to do the same thing there. I'm going to say list. So that is all the 21,000 records that ever happened on Gitcoin. I'm going to do export now instead of list, and it's going to show all the transactional details of those appearances or transactions. So that is all the Gitcoin grant data for the transactions. We can look at all kinds of things from the export command. And I'm going to say help, and you can see we can see appearances, receipts, logs, traces, statements, accounting. We can articulate the data we see. We can store the data in that cache and so forth. So next I'm going to say logs. That is every log that any transaction that the Gitcoin grant address was involved with. I'm going to hide some status detail. And you can kind of see this is not very informative because it's still byte data. So I'm going to add another command here called articulate. And what that does, it uses another one of the commands that we have called ABIs. So when we type ABIs on an address, it'll show us all the functions for that address. So now I'm going to export every log and articulate. And now you can see that this byte data gets articulated into the actual text, and then we even have a compressed version. So if I do logs, then I see all of those logs. I'm going to turn off JSON for a second. I'm going to say I want to only see the logs that were emitted by that address. So these are all the logs that the Gitcoin grant address created in text format, and I'm going to cut fields 1, 2, 3, and 11, because those are the ones I'm interested in. And now we have every donation ever received or sent from the Gitcoin grant smart contract. And now I'm going to say Shifra names, and I'm going to find the TrueBlocks wallet. That's the TrueBlocks wallet. And I'm going to grep for the TrueBlocks wallet. That is every donation either sent or received from TrueBlocks in the entire history of the Gitcoin grant smart contract. And that's just one thing that we can do. I'm going to also do another command here called Shifra serve. And what that does, it takes all of the commands that are available to Shifra, the command line, and it turns these into routes. So you can use all of these to get any information you want. So if I were to say export adders equals and use the TrueBlocks wallet, that is every transaction that ever happened on TrueBlocks as JSON data. And it even shows everyone I've ever interacted with as well. Now we can use that to build an application. So I'm going to shift into a different folder and start the application. So the server is running and it's delivering all the commands that TrueBlocks gives us, and it delivers it to this application, and we're going to actually rewrite this, and then you can look at TrueBlocks wallet, and it's extracting all of that data, and this is everything that ever happened to the TrueBlocks wallet. And you can see this is sort of like a spreadsheet now, where I'm actually scrolling through the transactions, and I'm getting all the details of the transaction over here. And we're reconciling it, and we're doing accounting on this whole thing. So this is what we're building. We have a grant. It's called gitcoin.co/grants 184 TrueBlocks. And we're looking for donations, and we're happy to have you donate to our grant. Thank you.